We are gonna be live in a second. As soon as I see you. Okay. And I think we're live. I can you hear
I can hear
me?
you, I can see you, and it says webinar is live streaming now. So
Beautiful. So so let me okay. So Hitesh, it's just 1 second. Let me see what's going on, because this is probably, let me put the YouTube off, and I can still hear you. Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, awesome. So now I don't see myself, but if you can see, can you see me on the screen?
Yes.
All right. Does it say live on your end?
It says live on YouTube.
Beautiful. All right, because I turned off the YouTube, and hopefully that's how it works with the we're still trying to figure out the technology. Anyway, we're gonna jump right into that. I don't see myself, which is kind of weird, but if I go off camera, you'll let me know. But we are here with Hitesh. But let me, if you guys are watching us live, or if you are listening to the recording and watching the recording, here is what we are doing today. We are in this webcast, which is, I call it JanaCast, Dream Big with Jana series, inspiring you to reignite, refire, and refuel your life. And today, my guest is the #1 world business strategist. It's Hitesh Haria, and I'll tell you why I love this man. So let me introduce him formally for just with a few sentences from his official bio, and then I'll add my personal flavor to that. So Hitesh Haria loves helping businesses grow exponentially and sustainably, from startups to billion-dollar entities. As an internationally renowned business expert with over 27 years of experience, he has been transforming and reviving businesses in various capacities, including Chief Executive Officer, Founder, and Chief Operations Officer. He has in-depth experience in a multitude of industries, including retail, finance, operations, human resources, education, professional development facilities, construction, supply chain, logistics, risk, and project management. That's why I said this man is amazing. And Hitesh is a sought-after speaker, keynote speaker. He is a coach and consultant for businesses, for business owners who got stuck in revenue generating and strategic planning stages of their business. This is something that not a lot of businesses want to talk about openly, but we're going to throw some light into what goes behind the scenes of each business with Hitesh. And on my personal, as I promised to you, personal flavor to this amazing man. I love this person because he is a person of integrity. Everything he says, he's done it, it's tested. And not only that, he has an incredible sense of humor, and he makes any complicated subject sounds like it's just, you just go into it, very light. So Hitesh, welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jana. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine. And let's dive into this kind of seemingly boring subject for anybody, whether you guys are in business or not. Numbers. And I'll start with myself. I did not like my numbers, and Hitesh is the person who actually made me fall in love with them, the numbers and the systems. So, Hitesh, question to you. What fascinates you about the numbers and the systems, and how did it start? Like, what inspired you to get into that?
Well, I love numbers. And it's interesting, right? There's 26 letters in the alphabet, but there's only 10 digits when you think about numbers. And it's that simple. It's just 10 digits that we need to know. And we all use numbers in our everyday life, whether it's knowing what address to go to every day, whether it's changing the channel, whether it's looking in your wallet and saying how much money you have. We all deal with numbers. For me, what was very interesting was turning around 3 companies in South Africa. And I realized the key behind understanding what the numbers mean and how we could utilize the numbers to change the trajectory of where we needed to go. But it was first understanding where we are in terms of those numbers, and then turning a couple of variables around, and then turning around that company so that they were able to grow sustainably, in a quick period of time. And that started my love for numbers.
Okay. So what does it do? Well, thank you for you. Just a little bit of more of the history. Can you give us an example of when? Let me backtrack a little bit because I have tons of questions. Statistically, I know that businesses and entrepreneurs, whether that's your business or you work in a corporation, doesn't really matter. They are not really familiar with their numbers, and people who fall in love with them, meaning like they become obsessed with the numbers, these are the ones who usually become successful. Is it true?
This is
in your experience.
This is absolutely true. And the reason for that is a couple of different things. One is you need to understand where you are in your business. And the best way to be able to do that is to be able to understand your numbers. What is your sales? What is your gross profit? What are your costs? What are your expenses? How much are you making after you pay off all of those things in terms of what is your net profit at the end of the day? It's only when you understand where you are currently, and then you say, okay, I want to grow. What is my business plan? What type of growth do I want my company to experience? And then how do I take my business from where it is now to where I want it to be? What does that mean from a numbers perspective? Again, coming to those key numbers, looking at your sales, looking at your costs, looking at your expenses, that kind of stuff. What can you tweak? What can you change in order to get the trajectory of growth?
Can you give us an example from your experience, like companies that you were helping to generate the revenue, and how you did it? What's the shortest period of time that you can turn things around once you know the numbers and you put the systems in place? Like, what's the shortest period of time, and what is the best miraculous example that happened to you with your help for other businesses?
Right. So I'll give you one specific example of a company in South Africa. It was actually 3 companies. And, when they were being purchased as a company, they were doing a tremendously large amount of turnover. 2 years later, instead of increasing in sales, the entire economy around that type of business had decreased. And the shareholders were going to come down and close the company. We analyzed every single piece of that business, all the moving parts. What are your fixed expenses? What are your variable expenses? What is it that you can do when a company is not doing too good, when your sales are not coming in, to keep the cost as minimal as possible? And as you grow the sales, you grow your expenses, but just in small increments at a time, so you make more profits as you move along. And we were able to turn that company around within a year, from making losses to breaking even, and then going and making profits as well. The timeline depends on the industry you're in and what specifically it is that you're looking for. Because it's in business, it's not only how much money you make, but it's actually about how much money you keep. So you're not only looking at how do I increase my revenue, but how do I get more effective and efficient in my costs? How can I render a better level of service at a lower cost? And that increases your profitability as well. So not only are you looking at growing revenue, but you're looking at decreasing costs and getting more efficient from your profitability as well. You get two for the price of one. Revenue.
Right. Right. So what's the advice that you could give for people who are just starting out? Let's say somebody wants to open the business, start a business. Because right now the economy, we are in the partner economy, which is not relevant to the topic of our conversation today, but a lot of people are opening up startups or they start doing business online. So what would you recommend as the initial step for them so that they can set it up for success? Because from what you said, I just realized that knowing your numbers is actually equals to getting the results.
That's correct.
Right? So
you're right.
So is it putting the systems in place? Like what would be step number one when they don't have any numbers yet?
Right. I think step number one always is put your business plan together. And your business plan involves what is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to either sell? What service do you want to render out there? And having a good understanding of what that is. Then doing the budget for your business, and the budget in the sense of, okay, as I'm planning a startup, what is it that I'm going to open with? What do I think my sales will be projected for the first year? Again, what are the sales? What are the products? What are the services? What are the expenses that I might incur as a new business? Am I going to hire some equipment? Is there some rental involved? Am I going to have to take out a loan to finance some of these things? So there might be some interest charges, that kind of stuff. So come up with a budget of what is your revenue going to be? What is your cost going to be? So you understand how much money needs to be invested and how much the profit will be at the end of the day as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the first step for a startup is do your business plan, do your budget. And from there, in terms of systems you were talking about, create some simple systems for yourself, because those things will make things easier to do as you move along. So I'll give you just a couple of examples. One is when someone pays you, if they're giving you money with a credit card, make sure that you have a credit card function. So, and when you receive money, there's a process that you receive money with. If someone has a complaint or wants to give feedback, there's a mechanism for them to be able to do that. So you have a system for doing that. So it's creating those kinds of systems, thinking end to end, how those things need to occur, what are all those pieces, and putting a system together. The other advantages of systems is that, as you get more established in your business and as you're growing your business, one person can't do everything. And so as you establish the systems, you can, either employ someone or get some assistance, but you have systems set in place so you're able to do that, and you'll have the quality that you desire to be out there in terms of your systems as well.
Mm-hmm. So I think for some people, especially if you are already in business, you understand you just need to outsource that and bring you or somebody else, right, who understands how to get unstuck in that area. But again, for people who have no idea, they just have an inkling, right, the inclination to start something or change the career and start doing their own business, then I think we might lose half of the people, because as soon as we say you got to have a business plan, a lot of people freak out because they think it's too complicated. What would you say to them? Does it have to be an official, it's really a complicated process that you have to go somewhere and get some help and get in unless if you're not looking for being funded by somebody else, if you want to do it all by yourself, how complicated is that to create a business plan?
I mean, firstly, I think it's essential to create a business plan, regardless of whether you're applying for a loan or anything else. If you're starting a business, you need to have a business plan. And the business plan could be as simple as, this is what I want to do. This is why I want to do it. These are the types of products and services that I'm going. Here's the type of organization to create to be able to do it. So these are all things you need to know and create in order to run your business. So that business plan is going to help you. You know, it's kind of like, hey, I'd like to go on vacation. And okay, well, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Are you going to do all the touristy stuff? What type of restaurants are you going to go to? What type of museums might you go and see? Or what type of adventures are you going to have? That's kind of like your business plan where you say, okay, I want to do this. What specifically am I going to do? And it also helps when you discuss it with other people because now you have it in writing. This is who I am. This is the type of business I have.
So in writing is the key. Yeah, you got to put some things on paper. I see. And as far as the systems, could you, like from the top of your head, or maybe you have a document, like maybe you already created something in the past from the type of work that you've been doing for years. What kind of systems? Can you give us maybe just sort of like a checklist of systems for the businesses to have in order to operate smoothly and really be on top of what's going on?
Right. So just a couple of examples. One would be, we spoke about this already. How do you handle payments? When you receive cash payments, credit card payments, what's your system to be able to do that? How do you handle inventory for purchases in the sense that, hey, I need to sell this. When do I need to purchase it in order to sell it? Because sometimes there's a lead time for those things to be manufactured and delivered to you before you can deliver it to someone else. So, what type of systems do you have set in place in order to not only have your budget, but to check in on your budget and how well your business is doing? You need to have a system for doing that as well. So it is those kinds of systems, handling your customers, handling your sales, handling your inventory, handling your money, and checking in on yourself.
Mm-hmm. Is it, like, in your opinion, is it complicated? Because it sounds like it's a lot of different pieces that need to be in place.
Certainly. So every morning, one of the things all of us do is brush our teeth, and there's a simple system that we do it.
I hope so. Not everybody brushes.
Let's assume good. And you put the toothpaste on the brush and then you brush your teeth. But there's an established system to doing that. That same way as you operate a business, these things are simple to do, but we have to establish systems to be able to do them. A simple system could be, how much toothpaste do I have left? Because if you don't have too much left, you have to make sure that before you run out, you have the next toothpaste purchased and lined up, ready to go. So systems are easy to set up, enjoy them, and set them up, and then document those systems in just a couple of steps. Don't make it complicated. It doesn't have to be complicated.
So in other words, do I hear you correctly? We already have systems for everything in our life, whether we like it or not.
Yes.
Is that what you're trying to say? Like with the example about brushing our teeth. So my message Hitesh's message for everybody who is afraid of numbers and afraid of system, and oh my God, as long as you hear these two words, they usually come together, you kind of block out from everything that follows. And Hitesh is saying, just look at your life and see how, recognize the systems that you have already created and they are in place. It's something that you do on a daily basis, consistently. And from there, you just translate that into your business, right? Hitesh, question. Thank you. Who do you specifically mostly work with? Like, who are your clients? Is it the corporation, or is it the individuals who own the businesses?
Both. I work in I consult for corporations and individuals who own businesses. So I do both.
So you catch them where they are.
That's
depends.
Right.
Yeah.
And help take them to where they want to be.
And they want to be wonderful. So if somebody wants your services, how can they find you?
I have a website called haryaconsulting.com. That's one way to get hold of me. I can give you my phone number if you'd like on air.
Sure. Yes. What's your phone number?
It's 901
Mm-hmm.
634
Mm-hmm.
1140.
Okay, so it's 901-634-1140. And HARIA is actually HARIA Consulting, right? It's your last name. HARIAconsulting.com. We'll put it in the comments below also. And it's just good to know. And I know there's something that you created as a for the listeners, for our listeners specifically. What is it? Can you please remind me?
Certainly, there's a wonderful document online.
Yeah.
It says, know your numbers, grow your business. And
Uh-huh.
I'd love to be able to share this with our viewers today. And what it contains is, what are the 5 things that any business needs to know in terms of their numbers? And then it takes you down, let's say you want to grow sales as an example. It takes you down a path of, growing your sales numbers and what are the components of being able to do that. So that's a very special gift that I'd like to offer today to our listeners.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Now, I traditionally on this Dream Big with Jana asking our guests a question. What is this one gem that from your treasure chest of all these beautiful things that you've collected, advice from others, lessons that you learned yourself, whatever that is, around that you can share? What is this one gem from your treasure chest that we can put in our treasure chest rather than the toolbox, which is mainly the same thing, but it's just a more elegant way, since I'm a woman, I prefer the image of the treasure chest. So what is it that you would like to share with the viewers and the listeners around the subject of numbers and systems? Like how, maybe something that will help us to reconsider and change on our relationship with these two notions that usually scare people away.
Right. I think of something very simplistic, and it goes like this. It says, what gets done is what gets checked. So I'll repeat that. What gets done is what gets checked. And it's simplistic for numbers, right? If you want to grow your business, if you're stuck in your business, know where you are, know where you want to be, make a plan, and then check on that plan every day and on a periodic basis. Because if you're checking in on it, you're going to improve it.
Yeah.
You're going to do it. So what gets done is what gets checked.
Beautiful.
Check on your numbers. Check in as to how you're doing. Check in on where are you in terms of your plan.
Beautiful. Can you, I'll just peek inside your home, inside your life, if you let me for a second, and ask you a question about your personal rituals, if you have them, like especially in the morning and at night. Do you have any, whether that's related to numbers or you incorporate that? What is it? Like, how do you make this a discipline? Because it's a discipline. What you just said, what gets done, what gets checked, gets done. Do you have a ritual for yourself?
Absolutely. And I think most successful people do. And part of that ritual involves, going through every day. What is my ultimate vision for myself? What is my ultimate plan? What are those 5 things that I am working towards? What are the things that I'm grateful for today? And then I, of course, do some meditation every day. So, check in on, hey, this is the focus of my life. This is what I'm truly grateful for. And then meditating. So
and the question, thank you so much. The question is around this 5 things that you're working towards. Is it 5 things every day that you work toward to achieve it within a given day, or is it the grand vision you're talking about?
It's the grand vision. And then, as the night before, I actually get into a planning session and say, okay, what have I accomplished today? What are those things that I need to accomplish tomorrow in order to accomplish my overall 5 goals? So taking proper action in terms of achieving those goals. And so I do that the night before. And that way, when I get in the morning, I'm looking at the big picture, but ready to start the day, because I know that those things that need to be done are already on my calendar. They're logged in, that I'm gonna get those things done and be successful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know that you've been teaching as part of Tony Robbins' team for a while, right?
I'm a senior leader for Anthony Robbins, so I do a lot of volunteer work, helping people on build their level of leadership and taking their life to a whole new level.
I'm telling you guys, this man is amazing. Yes, and he will cheer you up and inspire you and get things done and be on your back like there's no tomorrow. I can tell you that. So, yeah, well, thank you so much, Hitesh. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so the numbers, I hope everybody who's listening to Dream Big with Jana, inspiring you to reignite, refire, and refuel your life. And we're with Hitesh Haria today. I hope you got inspired by the numbers and systems. And Hitesh, real quick, one last piece of advice: how to simplify, like those people like me. What I don't even remember what you said to me when I said, "Oh my God, numbers and systems. Are you kidding me?" What did you say? Like, what would you say to them? I know, get checked, everything that gets checked gets done. But there's like how to simplify, how to really inspire them to look at the numbers. I want it for everybody.
For me, if you have goals in your life and you want to achieve them, goals don't change. Goals don't change. And figure out, okay, if I understand where I am now in terms of my numbers, and I know what my goals are for my numbers, and I'm checking in on my numbers every day, I'm going to achieve the numbers I desire, because my goals don't change. Okay. Mm-hmm. And knowing where you are, the numbers do that for us. They tell us where we are,
yeah.
And also our dreams in terms of where you want to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you're not going to look at numbers, your business is not going to move. You need to love your numbers, understand your numbers, and help grow your numbers. You're going to love them.
Mm-hmm. Instead of being afraid.
That's right.
I found this quote where somebody, I forgot who, compares numbers to sausages. You never know what's inside until you cut it open. So, I love that quote too. And it's a fun thing to do. It might be a little bit scary, but change scary into excitement, fear into excitement, and then cut them open, look at the real picture, and you go from there. And just like Hitesh said, you're gonna be unstoppable.
Sorry, there's a quote from Tony Robbins, and I'm not too sure if I.
That's my musical clock.
If I remember this properly, but it says, if you're going to fly the plane, even on a foggy day, you need to understand how all the instruments work. So if you're running a business, you need to understand all the numbers for that business, even when it may not be doing well. You need to understand all those numbers because you're flying that plane.
Yeah. Well, with that said, thank you so much, Hitesh. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you got a ton of value. Go grab Hitesh's new Grow Your Numbers, so this document that he created, Know Your Numbers, Grow Your Business. Document that is on his website, hariaconsulting.com, and we'll put it in the comments also. And we'll see you next time. If you have questions for Hitesh, please leave them in the comments below, share with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and we will be bringing other amazing speakers and experts to interview. And we'll stay in touch. Hitesh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jana. Keep up. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.